What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Big Guys are here, and in this video we are talking about nice guys. This syndrome, which is nice guy syndrome, which seems to be everywhere, and a lot of guys seem to have problems with this. They have problems which are connected with neediness. They don't really have a lot of support, or let's say respect from people, especially from girls and from women. So if you're a nice guy, chances are you don't really have clear boundaries, people don't respect you much, and usually girls don't really see you as a potential mate, and they are not really interested in you. So if you want to stop all of those things, today we're gonna do that in this video. I'm gonna give you a couple of tips, or not really tips, but let's say ways on how you can stop being a nice guy. Let me put it that way. So before we even begin this video, I'd like to say that if you want to stop being a nice guy, you actually have to man up, all right? You have to start living a life of confidence. Having confidence is actually a choice. It's not like you were born with confidence. This is actually the trait and the characteristic that you develop over time. And I believe that all of us can choose to be confident and live a life of happiness or joy or charisma, yada yada. So let's begin with the first one. The first thing is, if you want to stop being a nice guy, you gotta take care of yourself first. And by take care of yourself first, I mean like, the usual things which are, let's say, body, nutrition, finances, social life, maybe your passion, your goals, your job, all of the things that actually give you a sense of, let's say, accomplishment, or sense, let's say, they kind of drive you forward. So all of these things which are quite important in your everyday life, and you actually have to take care of them first. There's a quintessential example, like if you've flown in a plane, which I'm pretty sure you have, in case of a car accident, they tell you to put on an oxygen mask on yourself first before doing that on your children and your kids and your friends. The reason for that is, if you take care of yourself first, you're actually in control of the situation. You can do whatever you want to do, and you can actually help other people. Thus, everyone's gonna benefit from the situation. The same goes in your life. If you want to stop being a nice guy, if you want to level up your social game, you actually have to start working on yourself first. Start taking care of yourself first. Let's say, put your interests as a priority, right? The things that you are interested in, they have to be in your priority. You can't really give up all of those things for somebody's dreams, for somebody's plans. So the things that you value, they have to come as a priority, all right? The first thing, take care of yourself. The second thing that you can do to stop being a nice guy is to set clear boundaries with people. Set clear boundaries on what is okay, what is not okay with you, what is like, to what you will say no, and to what you can say yes. If people hit you up with a message like, hey, let's go out, and there are other things which are quite important for you, which are priorities, you can't simply just say yes and go out to have drinks. There are some things that have to be tackled, and if you don't have clear boundaries, then there's no wonder people are not going to respect you, right? So if you respect yourself first, your time, your energy, your priorities, your all these things which are quite important to you, other people will also respect you. As simple as that. If you don't do that for yourself, then who's gonna do that, right? If you don't take care of yourself first, nobody's gonna take care of you. So set clear boundaries, learn to say no, and we are moving on to the third one. The third thing is, if you want to stop being a nice guy, you gotta stop having expectations from people. This is very important. I'm gonna give you an example. You went on a date with a girl, you guys ordered a couple of drinks, and then you as a gentleman, you paid for the drinks, but then here is what's really tricky. If you're a nice guy, you probably pay for those drinks, but then you also expect something. You expect love, you expect affection. Maybe you want to get in her sheets or something like this. If you're not a nice guy, if you're a guy of, let's say, abundance, of high value, I don't really like this word, but maybe let's say alpha male, then you do all of these things without having any expectations of other people. You give because you're generous and you come from a place of abundance, not scarcity, not neediness, because when you do something, you don't expect anything in return. Because if you respect anything in return, probably you're putting also your emotional state of being into that outcome or into that expectation. So that actually means that you cannot really control your, let's say, emotions, right? So if you want to stop being a nice guy, stop expecting something from people. Do anything, or do the things that you're doing in your daily basis, do that without any expectations. The next one is quite important. If you want to stop being a nice guy, you gotta stop being afraid and getting into arguments with other people, and also expressing your disagreements. You see, the problem with nice guys is that they always feel this urge, this burning urge to be liked by other people, and they always crave this social validation. They always want to say yes, and they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But guess what? you cannot be ideal. Like sometimes you gotta say no, and sometimes there are clear boundaries, clear lines that nobody can cross. If you are a guy who is sufficient, who is coming from a place of abundance, you don't really need a validation from other people, yet alone from society. So the problem is, if you always seek validation, then probably you will say yes to a lot of things, and you want to please other people, and you gotta stop doing that, because well, the more you do, the less people will respect you. So stop saying yes all the time and don't be a people pleaser. And the last thing that you have to do to stop being a nice guy is to build an inner confidence. Okay, so confidence doesn't really come from theory, from books, although you can learn a thing or two from there. And of course you can actually implement them, let's say by using affirmations, or maybe just realizing all of these things. But true confidence comes from a lot of things. One of them is testosterone. It's your T levels. Well, as a guy, as a man speaking to a man, and like there's no problem if there's a girl, I mean this works too, but we have different hormones. We have testosterone. So if you want to become more confident, well, what you gotta do, you gotta increase your testosterone, T levels. And this sounds kind of complex and scientific, but it actually is very simple. Just take care of your nutrition. That's one. Don't be fat. Like lose weight if you have extra weight. Maybe hit up the gym with your bros, and have this, like, let's say, friendship with men, with other guys that will lift you up and will give you more testosterone. Because like, guess what happens if you hang out with girls all the time? You start developing estrogen hormones, and estrogen hormones are usually present in women. If you start hanging out with guys and boys and men, then well, logically you will have more testosterone, so it actually makes sense. So if you want to stop being a nice guy, start with your inner confidence, like true confidence. Don't try to fake it. I mean, you can't fake it because, well, maybe this helps you, but I guess you can start by simply changing your body, changing your viewpoint on the world, maybe somehow developing in your own niche and improving in your craft, in your job, and do all of these simple things which actually will help you become confident, and eventually you will stop being a nice guy. Okay, so that was it from me for today. If you like this video so far, hit the thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next one. B Kaiser signing out.